Morning, welcome back to the channel. This is where we chill out for the day together, go and do a few jobs, see if we can find some troubleshooting. We never know what the day entails. Tag along and let's get into it. Okay, this job here, we're going to need that and that. Turn the system on. Oh, there's no power. What the hell? Oh, it's turned off at the point. That could be a problem. Oh, a bit murky. Still see the main drain cover. Here it is. Let's empty the mask. It's thermometer there. What's it say? 26 degrees. It's not bad. Rocks, little pebbles. It holds the skimmer basket down when the latch is broken off on it. In this case, I have. We'll grab a water sample, test the water. It's out nice and deep in the cold part of the pool. Alright, we'll turn this system off. With the water sample, you want to get it at least 30 centimeters down in the water where the colder part of the water is. Reason being is some of the water sitting on the top of the pool, the surface of the pool in the first few inches, may only be just diluted. It might be all diluted of chemicals, so you're not quite getting a correct sample. The other reason is the water on the top of the surface, or the first couple of inches of the surface, may be quite warm, so you're not actually going to get a real accurate reading unless the pool is actually heated. Make sure you rinse the container out that you're putting the sample in. Get as deep as you can, not in front of a jet though. You don't want our water sample in front of your return lines. Somewhere nice where the water's sort of still-ish, but not completely still, because you should have circulation. It always amazes me when other people install equipment. Here's a nice old pump. It's been around for a bit. Tell by the motor there, it's quite old. Look how it's installed. They've come up from the bottom here with a check valve, which is good. But we're sitting on bricks. Why are we sitting on bricks? Don't know the theory behind that. Let's get the lid off. Okay. So here's a common problem with these pumps. These lids don't come off nice and easy. I'm going to take a nice close look at this lid as well. We'll take a nice close look at here. You can see some little cracks in the lid. A little bit concerning there. There is no bubbles coming out there. But I'm a bit worried that that crack might sort of get a little bit worse. Yeah, that's not coming off. Like I said, it's a common problem with this brand. Don't get me wrong, it's a reliable brand. It says Aquaswim, but it's actually a Waterco as well. We'll just give that a little lever off. Oh, that's on tight. I'm gonna have to use 2 hands. Okay, after a few curse words, we've got it. These are super hard to get off sometimes. Let's take a look. Let's get that empty. Goes for the shot. Nope. Nope. I'll stick to pools, not basketball. Right, let's have a closer look. What's going on here? There's still a little bit of elasticity. I don't know the word, bit of moving around there. A little bit stiff in some areas. That crack is a bit of a concern. Sometimes a bit of debris will get stuck in these little tracks here. It's probably not what you're supposed to do, but I occasionally just grab a little toothbrush. Just give it a bit of a scratch out. You never know what's sitting in there. Find a little bit of debris might be stuck in some of those tracks. Might be a bit of sand or grit that's preventing it from sealing or opening correctly. Let's just give it a nice little revamp. I don't like things that are broken or old. This pump plays an essential role, so it's got to have the right parts, I suppose. Okay, so we've got a new O-ring there. Here's the old one. The old one, it's a bit bendy, a little bit stiff. This one here is quite bendy and a lot softer. So I think we're going to replace that. There's the old one again. Moves around a bit the same, but it just has a stiffish feel to it. Let's see if it makes a difference. Might put a bit of lube on there. Sometimes we need a bit of lubricant in our lives for certain things like this. A few little dollops of lubricant. Let's just rub that around. Get that on the O-ring. Get it all nice and moist. Set that in there nicely. All that stuff's come off that O-ring, that colour. Okay, lids. Like I said, I'm a little bit concerned about that crack. It's not going to be long until that actually cracks right through. So we'll put a new one on. Yeah, that glides in so much easier. If we grab that old one, I mean, it's hard to tell on camera, but even the sound. A lot smoother. Let's just tighten it a little bit. Yeah, that feels so much better. I'll just put a little bit more lubricant there. We don't want it to be dry. Oh, got a bit of twiggy stuck on me. Yeah, look, the pump's still going fine. I'm not going to swap that out for that one simple little thing. Let's just put a new lid and O-ring on and see if we can have future success with getting the lid on and off. I did speak to the customer. And they did say that they were having trouble getting that lid off. So we'll just be interested to see if this makes a difference. A little bit of a cost to them, but you know, that's what we do. We maintain equipment. We just don't clean pools. So you want to maintain your equipment, put some new little parts on something that's still working well instead of just replacing the whole pump. That's just silly. We'll do a backwash while we're here. Sight glass is a bit foggy and misty is the word maybe. It's an old filter, but it's still doing the job. A few little bubbles there, but we are on backwash. It's hard to tell with that sight glass whether we've done a long enough backwash. I'm not going to bother replacing. I just try and look through the sight glass, through the threads. Put my little finger there, I can see it a little bit clearer. You guys can't see though, I'm sorry. Just turn him off. Round on to rinse. Round on to filter. So why do we have a manual timer? So this is a chlorine pool. A lot of people say, I don't know whether I've got a chlorine or a salt pool, but you can tell that the pump is going into the filter and then the filter's coming back out through the return back to the pool, and it doesn't have a cell sitting here. Also doesn't have a unit on the wall displaying any sort of instructions or turn on, turn off. We'll do a water test. I'm going to change the sanitizer to chlorine because it's a chlorine run pool. Great little machines these. Gives you an accurate test as opposed to dipsticks. A lot better for your customer as well. There's confidence knowing that you've got the right chemistry. Okay, all right, there's the result. 0 chlorine, pH is a little high. We'll make adjustment to that. A little bit of phosphate, nothing to get too excited about. Stabilizers, little low. I like my stabilizer at around 30, 35. I don't sort of like it too high. I tend to find personally they perform better. Not only that, being a chlorine pool, you've got to keep an eye on the stabilizer. You don't want the stabilizer any more than sort of 50, 60. Once you start putting too much stabilizer in these pools, you'll get a thing called chlorine lock, which basically means that the pool, no matter how much chlorine you put in the pool, is just not going to work. Okay, been given another product to try, not sponsored. Don't mind trying a few things once in a while. Just got to have a look at the ingredients there. You got 504 kilos of available chlorine, sodium dichlor. Look at that word there. That's the one you want to look at. That's high strength chlorine. It's also got this long stuff in there, which is really good. Basically an oxidizer. Always look at your graph for the instructions. Because it's a painted concrete pool, I'm going to use the aqua fingers. There is a video in my content on the aqua fingers, just to get a bit better of a brushing experience. Tell you what, this brush, apart from being fluoro, really loving it. There's a lot of content online that frustrates me. Let's just sprinkle this in and I'll explain what I'm talking about. I'm going to try that whole pack. My training and knowledge got the better of me. We're just going to put a little bit of nil phos in there, phosphate remover, just to keep on top of those phosphates. And to assist with clearing a lot quicker, we're just going to put one of the Clarify tablets in, thermometer back in. So to ever throw your empties out, they're worth the deposit. Okay, so I spoke to the customer there. They were telling me that the pump's been making a really unusual noise. So we discussed the lid and O-ring part of it, and they were quite more than happy to replace that part. And we'll just see if that makes a bit of an improvement and make sure in the future that it's easy for them to get on and off. We're going to check back on that pool. It is a chlorine fed pool, so it's reliant on what we put in the pool or people put in the pool. And we'll see if that helps clear it up, that new product. I'm happy to give anything a go. Just hope for some good results, because ultimately I won't sell anything unless my customers benefit, in a sense of, it works for them and they're not wasting any money. Okay, so you would have seen me stirring the granular chlorine in a bucket. Got a little bit of an issue with that, so you'll see in my content that I continue to do that. Some manufacturers' instructions will say you can apply through the skimmer, which you can. Some will say you can just sprinkle or broadcast across the pool and that'll be fine, which in some cases can, but you've got to look at the quality of the granular. You've got to look at the consistency of it when it dissolves. So the concern is, and the thing that I try and avoid, especially when I'm working on someone else's pool, I like to make sure it's completely dissolved, because in the event for some reason in manufacturing or the way that the product's made, that it doesn't quite dissolve and it sits on the bottom of the floor of the pool, you can end up with some bleaching, and you don't want to be responsible for that as a pool tech. So best practice, always dissolve in a bucket and broadcast. I'm going to wrap that up. Thanks again. Make sure you subscribe if you already haven't. Check out the other couple of days on the road. Happy for some feedback. If you want something to touch on in the next couple of videos, please make sure you leave a comment there and I'll see if I can get around to it. Share with your friends. Let's get the word out. So I want to get to my goal and start giving some stuff away. Love giving stuff away. In the meantime, take care and enjoy your day. Cheers. Oh, I forgot my manners. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your day. Mum would be turning in her grave for not using manners. Take care.